What's up, everyone? How are you doing this morning? Just taking a couple seconds here to get everything set up right before we go live. We've got the heat map up on the screen right now, and it does not look pretty, everyone. Let me go in here and change some settings up. Boom. All right, cool. All right, so let's get back to that heat map. Let's talk about things. What's up, Twitch Radio? How are you doing, sir? All right, so CPI data is about to come out in about 40 minutes from now. I've got 3 different stations set up here so I can check out all the information. But what I am seeing right now is a massive, massive sea of red going on. All right, so if we look at some of our alts here, let's just go over the screen real quick. Solana, 28.96 down 7%. ADA down 8%. XLM with Meridian 2022 going on down 6%. ETC down 10.6, Zcash down 6.2. Wow, lots of red across the screen. XRP, which saw the rally up to like 54, 55 cents, down right now 45.6. Twitch Radio chimes in early this morning from the West Coast. Love the West Coast listeners. Saying super red overnight. I'm not worried though. Good as I can be, I guess. Woke up early to see what craziness happens, and that's what we're all looking for right now. We're waiting for the CPI data. I've got previous CPI data loaded up on the screen. We can break down individual parts of the data here, which I've got a cool one for you. Okay, so when you look at CPI data, okay, you're going to have a whole bunch of different segments to look at. Well, you can filter down and drill down within each segment. So, for instance, on the screen right now, you can see last month's, not last month, but the months before that CPI data, you saw energy was up 23.8%, all right? You can drill into the data further and see, well, wait a minute, what actually caused that energy right here of 28.3%? Look at this. Fuel oil rose 68.8%. So when we start talking about things that hit us, right, that affect most people, right, Main Street. We're not talking about the Wall Street elites. We're talking about Main Street, all right? Look at that. Fuel oil, 68.8%. Gasoline, up 25.6%. And the announcement is going to be happening at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So when we look at CPI data, and when we look at the numbers and we sit here and we see, hey, wait a minute, we see 8.3 on the CPI, right? We have to look in deeper. We have to drill into these items and really see what is making up these numbers. Because 8.3 that you see right here that happened for August, then okay, I know it's bad, but right, relatively speaking, it's not bad compared to previous months. Now, when you look at, though, that individual data, you could see that it's consumers that are bearing the brunt of this. Gasoline, 25.6% increase. Electricity, 15.8%. Natural gas, everyone, 33% increase. Let's go and look at some of the other big ones here. And again, the data for this next CPI is going to be coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Right now, the heat map is redder than red. We saw negative action happening last night where we saw some big candlesticks happening with XRP falling along with XLM. Now, the weird thing about XLM is this. Stellar Development Foundation has their Meridian 2022 going on, and look, zero volume. Look at this. Zero volume whatsoever into, so obviously what's happening right now is Meridian 2022 is not fueling the market whatsoever. Right now we've got a lot of pre-panic selling before the CPI data. In fact, world stocks slipped to a new 2-year low ahead of CPI data. So it's not just us, everyone. We're talking about Japanese markets, Euro markets. Everyone is down because they're looking to see what this CPI data is. David Frayne chimes in 30 minutes. Yes, David, you are correct. The CPI data will be released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Michael Lopes chimes in. This may indicate potential last push down for crypto. I don't know. These are some rough ones here. And what really bugs me about this, all right, let's just look at the chart of XRP super fast, okay? So let's just go pre-October. Let's go late September, okay? Look at this action on the 29th of September, and I'll move my mouse out already over the way. Okay, so look at this action. September 29th, we saw a big move here, right? More movements. And even if we go further back, let's just go further back and see. All right, so from the 16th, look at this movement here. 16th, right around 33, 34 cents, all got erased. That all got erased within the last 48 hours, everyone. So there was some definite pumping of XRP only to send it back down. I don't want to say market manipulation, but you guys, look at this. We saw XRP, XLM, HBAR, a bunch of our other alts deviate from Bitcoin and Ethereum short term. Got a whole bunch of interest into it, and now they're crashing back down again. Back to the comments. We got a lot of you out there that are saying, hey, this could be leading to a potential crash in crypto. I don't know how much more of a crash we need, everyone. This has been a rough time to begin with. But big thing right now on the map is we have extreme red across the board. And for those of you that do not know how a heat map works, it's pretty simple. The deeper the color tone, the worse the action, right? So if you look over here and you see this HT right on the screen, and I'll zoom in just so y'all could see it. The HT right here is super green. Why? Because it's up 11%. But if you look at ApeCoin right here, it's down 8.9, so it's going to be super dark red. CPI data, everyone, and that's why I like looking at the heat map, because right away I can look at it, I can switch my time frames, and I can see what segments of the market are heating up and what segments of the market are falling flat on their face. Right now, the big thing that all of us should be concerned with, besides CPI data, two big numbers here. If Ethereum breaks sub 12, you're going to have a fresh round of liquidations happening, because there were a lot of people that after, okay, hear me out here, that after Ethereum hit their low, they were like, hey, wait a minute, we hit bottom, let's get back in on the Ethereum bandwagon. So they started playing the Ethereum action up with the merge, everyone. Yep, pre-merge pump, okay? So these people got in thinking that Ethereum hit their bottom. Now, if Ethereum breaks that 1100 yet again, you're going to see mass liquidations. It's going to just be happening over and over and over. The other one right now that I'm paying attention to big time is Bitcoin, all right? For Bitcoin liquidations to really start hitting points where we need to, I guess, be concerned, where it would start kind of causing more and more of a snowball effect, I'd really look at Bitcoin at the low 18s. We're talking 18.2, 18.1, somewhere around there. Nathan chimes in, getting cold in the Midwest this morning. I used to live in the Midwest for almost my whole life. Loved it out there. I'm on the East Coast right now, South Carolina. It is about high 70s during the day, high 50s, low 60s at night. Beautiful weather that we've been having here. Stellar Proud is chiming in. What's up, Stellar Proud? How are you? And if you guys have questions, comments, anything like that, we've got about a half an hour until the CPI data gets released. So now is the time to fire off those questions. Some of the things that we are paying attention to right now is this movement here. Extreme retracement from XLM in the last 24, 48 hours. Same thing with XRP. big retracements happening over the last 48 hours. In fact, look at this action right here. That is a heavy, heavy down move. So I was watching the charts last night, actually, and this is the candlestick that I saw last night. I was watching this last night. I saw this one right here. This one caught my attention. The alert went off on my phone. The interesting about this move here, this was a 2% hit in one candlestick with no news. And that's what got me wondering, hey, what are we walking into with this CPI data? Because there are people obviously trading on action and information that hasn't come out yet. And for those of you who are wondering, we are looking at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time for the CPI data. Let's see, Alex chimes in saying, hey, why did Bitcoin have a massive dump today? Any reasons? Honestly, I think they're pricing in CPI data. I wholeheartedly believe that you are seeing people price in CPI data. Now, the pump that we saw with the alts, especially the utility alts, I don't want to say market manipulation, but let's be real here. That brought a lot of fresh money and excitement in during the last CPI data. Okay, so what happened when the last CPI data, actually when the Fed did their meeting, let's talk with that first. When Jerome Powell and the Fed did their meeting and announced 75 basis points, this is exactly what happened with the market. XLM, XRP took off, Bitcoin and Ethereum went down. Now what we're seeing is we're seeing CPI data. And remember, CPI data, this is the stuff that Jerome Powell and the Fed use quite extensively, everyone, in order to make their decisions on what they're going to do with rates. Now, this CPI data here, I don't know. Right now, if you were to guess, right, you're going to be guessing bad CPI data. Why? Because the market is pre-red, with Ethereum down 4% in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin down 1.8%. XRP channel favorite here, 6.5% down in the last 24 hours. XLM down 6% to 10.9 in the last 24 hours. So we're definitely seeing the market pricing in negative action on the CPI report. Now, I'm going to show you guys something cool. I'm going to try to find it here real quick for you. There was a video I did called New Report, and I'm going to show you super fast what they had in here. Hold on a second. I got to find it here. All right, hold on, everyone. New reports. Yeah, there's. I gotta find it for you. Well, anyways, there was a video I did. It was called a New Report. I'm gonna have to find it here. Well, anyways, the video, what it was about was this. They got not pre-data, but they got early data out. It's called today data up to today, something like that. And what that is that CPI data up to the moment. All right, and so what they do, it's this one right here. New data out here. I'm going to show you guys a really cool chart here. Hold on one second here. Inflation report forecast. I don't know if you guys all caught this. I'll share it with you now. But this was an inflation report forecast. All right. And here's what this is. This is called, let me clean up my screen just a little bit here, everyone. All right. So with this report, okay, what happens is they track on a linear scale what is happening with CPI data, okay? This report came out just a few days ago, and it's called the Nowcast, all right? Let me read this for you, and this is going to kind of show you exactly what's going on with the Nowcast. All right, the Nowcast for October CPI is estimated plus 0.7 month to month, compared to a plus 0.3 Nowcast for September CPI, with a core CPI at plus 5% for both September and October. So what is a Nowcast? A Nowcast, all right, takes all the data that we have up to point X, right, now, all right, and says, hey, wait a minute. In October through the first X number of dates, in September through X number of dates, this is what inflation data looks like. If we draw that out to the rest of the month, this is where it'll be. So a Nowcast isn't completely accurate, but it's the best data projection that they have up to the moment. Now, the video that I did regarding this Nowcast, when did I do this one? I did this one a while ago. Let's see, give me a second. I just want to see when I did this Nowcast. Okay, so this Nowcast video I did was on October 7th. And so now we have even more data coming out. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a real rough one. Dev says 8.4. Please, time to go shopping. Yeah, I think a lot of us here are thinking, hey, this might be time to go shopping. We're looking at the CPI data. We're waiting for it to come out. 8:30 a.m., by the way. So if you have questions, comments, now is the time to get them in. A look across the market sees a lot of pain. I'm going to switch the chart now from a 1 day. I'm going to switch it to 1 hour real quick, so don't panic, everyone. All right. So this is what the chart looks like over the last hour, all right? Don't freak out, everyone. I am changing the chart up here from 1 day to 1 hour. All right, and Nicholas Contos says, morning, what's up, Nicholas? Janos Wagner says, hey there, what's up, Janos? All right, so in the last hour, though, all right, in the last hour, we have seen Bitcoin up 0.31%, XRP up 1.6, XLM up 1.7. This is in the last hour, but most of the negative price action, and I'm going to flip it to 24, boom, has happened in the last 24 hours. So in the last hour, it's been kind of sideways action. Again, I'll switch to the last hour so you can see. In the last hour, pretty much sideways. Everyone kind of floating around zero right now. But the big news here is up to this moment, 24 hours. We are looking at extreme red across the board. We've got that redness priced in. Okay, let's just talk about it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. I got a couple things I want to share with you. And Sean Campbell chimes in, 8.2% is the expectation. And as that data comes out, I will be sure to share it with you. I've got a whole bunch of screens up ready to go so that we can see what the CPI data looks like. All right, so in the previous CPI data, and this is what bugs me about, you know, and I'm not getting into politics, all right? I hate politics with a passion, I really do. But what really bugs me is when you have people out there saying the economy has never been stronger. When you have government leaders out there saying that inflation is not that bad, the worst is behind us. How can you say the worst is behind us when you look at food inflation? Cereal, bakery products up 16%. Dairy, our milk, eggs, cheese, stuff like that, up 16%. What about fuel, gasoline, up 25%? So, I get it, right? The elites, maybe you're not hurting as much. And that's what bugs me about this, is when people are looking at the CPI data, they're like, oh, it's 8.3, that's not that bad. We can deal with that. Yeah, it might be 8.3, but look at some of the numbers that make this up. What about all my friends watching right now in Europe? You are getting raked over the coals on natural gas. And hey, look at natural gas, up 33%. So you tell me out there, all right, is inflation cooling down? Hell no. Not if we're seeing 33% increase in gas prices for natural gas. Way too much. Let's look at some of the other ones. Oh, transportation services. See, so now that the world is opening up from the Rona, all right, we're seeing more airline fares being jacked. Look at this. Airline fares up 33.4%, everyone. This is definitely hitting Main Street rather than Wall Street. Look at some of the other big numbers that jump out. New vehicles up 10% used. So for everyone out there that was like, hey, you know, cars and all this stuff, they're going to crash. New vehicles up 10%. Used cars up 7.8%. Holy crap, everyone. So I find it really hard to believe that they're going to say that a lot of these prices are going to be going down. I just don't see that happening anytime soon. When we look at the food part here, you can see massive increases in dairy, massive increases in cereal, meat 10%. These are some big items, everyone. Let's get back to the comments, and we got fans from all over. Nico chiming in, 8.1% or lower equals a green candle, 8.2% or more equals red. And that report gets released at 8:30 a.m. We've got about 23 minutes right now until that report happens. What we're going to do is when we get closer to that time, I'm going to take this chart right here. I'm going to switch it over to my 1 hour because I want to watch immediate market reaction, and I want to see if different segments in the market are lighting up while others are in the red. A question was asked, which 3 cryptos would you choose if you could only hold 3? This is from AR2R. All right, how about we do this? How about everyone comments in the comment section, or in the chat section, sorry about that. What would be your top 3 cryptos? All right, let's see here. If I were to pick 3, right, if I only could pick 3, I would say this. I would go XRP, XLM, And part of me for diversification, I would want to pick like an Ethereum layered protocol program. But I would almost have to say HBAR because of its enterprise usage, right? So I would kind of pick XLM to kind of help move money between people if that ever goes off and bangs. I've got XRP, which is going to be helping moving money for businesses, ODL, and I would have HBAR, which would be more like enterprise grade scale, right? So the big partnerships out there. So that would be kind of my different way of tackling the three segments of the market. We got a bunch of you chiming in with your favorites here of XLM, XRP, XDC. Adobo69 says, hey, Klaus, good day to you. Good day to you, Adobo69. And if you please could, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Share this with someone out there who's into crypto because right now we're talking all crypto right now, all right? We're not just focusing on XRP and XLM. We're focusing on the whole market and seeing what the reaction is. Now, for what you're seeing up on the screen, this is a 1 hour look at the market. So if you see the market, right, switch from green to red, that is me switching from the 1 day performance, which you could see in the 1 day, we are down big in the last 24 hours. But if I switch it to the 1 hour mark, as you can see here, we go back to a lot of green. So right now, when we look at this, all right, when you switch to the 1 hour on the heat map, and we're talking, we are 20 minutes away from CPI data. And Dom's got a good one, everyone. Dom's like, hey, there's so many good projects, it's hard to pick. I know, that's why I had a problem. Roaring Wookie said, too early to have beer. Dang it. I'm not having beer. I'm training right now. Today's a big training day for me, so like I get up super early. I get ready for my next adventure, so I train. So no drinking for me this early in the morning. David Frayne is going to get banned on the show for saying Shibu Inu to the moon. We might be sending David to the moon if we keep this kind of stuff up here. All right. So, and yes, Twitch is saying HBAR is more like a trust layer, just letting you and that's why I like it for the enterprise stuff, because if we start using documentation verification and documentation access through HBAR, think of the security that could provide through the blockchain. Be really interested in that. All right, and Nico says, why does Ethereum have a POS label on the top? Well, for those of you that don't know in crypto, we have piece of shit and proof of work. Ethereum, since they went through the merge, is now considered a piece of shit because they went through proof of stake. So for those of you that haven't been paying attention, right now, Ethereum is classified as a POS, a piece of shit. So for those of you out there that wanted a technical clarification on what a POS token is, that's what that is. Let's see. Alex says, what website are you using right now? I am using coin360.com. All right. The website, I'm going to put it up in the chat just so you guys can see it here. Give me a second. The website is coin360.com. All right. That's the website for you. All right. And Adobo69 had a good point. So Adobo69 says quant is dangerous because it is in the Ethereum network. See, okay, and that was kind of my thing. So when we talked about, hey, what would be the 3 cryptos I would invest in? Part of me is like, I would want to still kind of dip my toe in with the Ethereum, and that's why I would go with like a layer 2 action here, because I would be like, all right, well, is there a scaling solution? Is there a throughput solution that can be put on Ethereum that's going to be going good right now? I don't think I would directly go into Ethereum heavy as a holding, mainly because a lot of companies out there are using Ethereum as an asset. So for something that's used as an asset, you really have to watch like liquidation flashpoints, all right? So here's what I mean about liquidation flashpoints, and this is where you got to watch out. And you know what, guys? You know what we're going to do? Because you guys kick so much ass, all right? Because I love you guys, we are going to the whiteboard, all right? Let's do it. Let's go to the whiteboard. Okay, so let's go to this whiteboard right here. I've got this one saved. I'm going to move my segment around. Give me a second here. Sorry, guys, I'm just switching up a few of my things here. All right, so we're going to go to the whiteboard here. We're going to talk super fast. All right, so for those of you that didn't see this, this has to do with crypto lending, okay? Very interesting stuff here with crypto lending. So I'm going to delete and clean up some of this stuff here. Give me a second. We're going to delete this. Hold on, let me do this. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do a new whiteboard. Let's do a new one. And let's add Pimpin' Peter Griffin here. All right, so one of the things I wanted to talk about, right, real quick before we get into this, is I wanted to talk about inflation, all right, and how crypto hedges against inflation. And a lot of people out there are like, well, you know, crypto is actually a really, really crappy hedge for inflation. So how does that work? So we're going to use my main man, Pimpin' Peter Griffin. Why? Because Pimpin' Peter Griffin is where it's at. And remember, the reason we use Pimpin' Peter Griffin is because Pimpin' Peter Griffin, the business that he gets involved in is cash based, okay? So that's kind of something to think about. That's why we use Pimpin' Peter Griffin. Okay, so I want to talk about inflation super fast. Just the VeChain video. Nice. But I want to talk about, okay, inflation. All right, so now Pimpin' Peter Griffin, all right, wants to fight inflation, all right? And here's the problem. Pimpin' Peter Griffin lives in a country, all right? Where am I at here? Pimpin' Peter Griffin lives in a country with hyperinflation, all right? So his hyperinflation is at 80% year over year, all right? That's what Pimpin' Peter Griffin has to do in terms of hyperinflation. So what Pimpin' Peter Griffin does, and I want to show everyone how you use crypto to hedge against inflation, but it doesn't always work, and I'll show you why. Okay, so here's Pimpin' Peter Griffin. Pimpin' Peter Griffin is getting paid, and he's getting paid in his current denomination X. Every time Pimpin' Peter Griffin gets paid, what he's going to do is he's going to take his money and he's going to transfer it into USDC, okay? So what's going to happen is he is going to use USDC. And you're like, okay, well, why is he going to use USDC? Because the MoneyGram Stellar partnership, and I know people are tired of hearing on it, but the MoneyGram partnership with Stellar is the first cash to crypto, crypto to cash partnership around the world. So every time Pimpin' Peter gets paid, he's going to convert his money into USDC. So his money is going to sit over here in this USDC pool, okay? So he's not going to pay any of his bills just yet. So now Pimpin' Peter Griffin is going to get paid again, and he's going to put his money back into this fund, and he's going to grow it up bigger and bigger. So now his fund here is in USDC. This is USDC, okay? Every time Pimpin' Peter Griffin needs to pay some bills, what is he going to do? He's going to take his USDC, where his money in, he's going to off-ramp it to his native currency in cash, and then boom, pay his bills instantaneously. So the way he is able to beat inflation by using crypto works in a couple different ways. Number one, you can only beat inflation if the amount is better than what your inflation rate is. So right now we're talking hyperinflation, all right? That's the only way you're going to do this. This does not work in the United States. The big key here, though, is that every time Pimpin' Peter Griffin gets paid, he transfers that money into USDC. Because when you look at USDC compared to these countries that have hyperinflation, USDC is going to hold their value, while those hyperinflation countries, their value is just going to keep going lower and lower and lower. So every time Pimpin' Peter Griffin gets paid, he puts his money into USDC. Whenever he wants to pay a bill in the country that he lives in, he takes that USDC, which hasn't been hit with hyperinflation, just standard inflation. All right, let's be real here. In the US, we're dealing with standard inflation. Other countries in the globe, we have hyperinflation. So now that the USDC isn't losing its value, he's able then to take that USDC, off-ramp it into cash, pay his bills right away. Right away. That is how you can use crypto to fight inflation. Couple comments here that I wanted to get to. David Frayne says, I don't think we are at a bottom. XRP maybe. I got bags of HBAR holding. Let me know in the comments below. Are we at the bottom? We've got a couple things. Got a couple things we got to look out for. So first things first, right? We're dealing with inflation right now. The second thing that we're going to have to deal with, because remember, as the government, and I don't want to say the government, but I'll say it. As our government does nothing to fix the problems in this country, both sides of the aisle, but as our government does nothing, the Fed has to step in, jack up interest rates. When the Fed jacks up interest rates, that pulls money out of you and I. It pulls money out of our pockets. How does it do that? Well, by raising interest rates, we're raising the fees on credit cards, or not fees, the rates on credit cards, home own loans, car loans, businesses doing loans, home equity lines of credit, a whole bunch of ones like that. Okay, so what happens, okay, with all of this information, right, with all the data and all this, let me get a real quick drink, guys. Sorry about that. My throat is a little roached a little bit right now. But what happens with all this information here, and you know what, hold on, let me switch. I'll come back to it later. I just want to check out something real quick. I wanted to look at the price of XRP real quick on a zoomed in fashion. So XRP, we have seen a little bit of a bottom priced in pre-news here. The low on this candle looks like 44.5 for XRP. Let's switch over here to XLM super fast. XLM had a recent bottom before the data release of 10.7. Also, interesting here. So keeping an eye on the market, we're seeing that XLM, XRP have both bottomed out a little bit in this market. We're looking in the last hour right now. The market kind of mixed here. Bitcoin only up 0.18%. Ethereum down 0.18. XRP up 1.5 in the last hour. XLM up 0.18. So right now, everyone is trading sideways, waiting for the action to happen. We have 11 minutes right now until CPI data comes out. I've got all the data here ready to roll. They're going to be releasing it, like I said, at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. All right, so back on to the inflation talk and back onto the government. Okay, so anyways, government's Fed. And what's up, Jimbo Tango? Jimbo Tango, not just a viewer or a fan, but a super fan. See, Jimbo, I did it right this time. And Jimbo comes in, all right, from Ireland, everyone. So let me know in the chats, where are you coming in from? But anyways, back to Jerome Powell and the Fed. So what happens is the Fed starts raising rates, right? It makes the cost of everything go up, which drives the amount of money you and I can spend down, right? Because most of it is now being spent on interest, all right? So what happens is on the consumer side, the demand side, demand goes way down. That's how the Fed is going to try to stop this inflation movement. So now we're paying attention to CPI data. The problem is, though, is as the Fed raises rates to fight CPI data, companies, what do they do to save money? They cut their costs for wages, right? And that's the number one thing that businesses do to cut costs. They let people go. So they let people go, which means what happens? Job availability goes down, unemployment goes up. So what's going to happen here is that you're going to hear a whole bunch of people switch from CPI data, right, and the different factions within CPI, or the different metrics within the CPI data, and then you're going to start hearing them talk about unemployment data. So be prepared for that. Be prepared, all right? Winter time, right? When we start talking about like January, February, March, when we start, look for the swap from CPI data to unemployment data. Unemployment data is going to start being a nasty, nasty problem here in the United States and across that globe. All right, so let's see. We've got some Pennsylvania, Ohio, North Carolina. I'm South Carolina, by the way, for everyone watching. Sean Campbell says, if we smack 8.2 on the nose, probably a less severe drop, but I think it's still down. Nico says the DYX, the dollar average index, is going down, which means if we expect bad CPI numbers, it should be pumping already. And that's kind of something I wanted to share with you here, Nico, was just in about the last, about the last hour or so, we have seen XLM and XRP hit their bottom, near term, guys. All right, let's, I'm not talking about the whole bottom, but they've hit their bottom here. You can see it with the candlesticks up on the screen. You can see that they hit that bottom, and now we're waiting, all right? We've made our moves. You can see the market priced in bad action. Look at this. The market priced this in. We've hit the bump. This is the pause now before the report comes out. Now, Real says, I don't think unemployment will get bad. Too many open jobs. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Real, because the previous month's job opening report sucked. There were a ton of jobs openings that were shut down. So first things first, right? Companies close open job postings, okay? So you have to follow two different parts of unemployment numbers. You have to follow unemployment itself, and you also have to follow job openings. How the market works is it kind of works in two different steps. The first thing you will see businesses do is cancel current job openings. All right. They will say, hey, we don't need to expand to third shift, so let's kill the hiring for third shift. If that's not enough cost savings for a company, what companies will then do is they will start pulling away from their labor, not stopping the adding to their labor, but the actual pulling away labor. Then they start going, well, hey, we don't need third shift. let's do this. Let's start pulling a couple people out of second shift, and maybe we'll run like a skeleton shift for second. So be very, very, very careful out there. Unemployment is going to get rough because what you're going to see is, okay, when the Rona happened, companies out there got a ton of money for cheap, right? Over the last couple of years, that's why we're in this problem. Lending for businesses was cheap, which means businesses could grow and expand with very little cost to them in terms of interest. So what happened was they expanded, right? They hired tons and tons of people. They just blew up their workforces, all right? So they blew up their workforces and they were paying people more, which is leading us to like our inflation problem that they're dealing with. So now that they blew up their workforce bigger than what it really should have been because they're like, oh my God, the world is growing. This is insane. Our growth, year over year is crazy. Remember that post-Rona when we first started thawing from, the pandemic? All of a sudden the economy was booming. Companies thought that was going to continue. So they started hiring more and more and more and more, only to find out that now all those new job openings that they have posted for future growth were all canceled. So do you guys remember when the Luna UST thing happened? There was a thing about Gemini out there. It was Gemini, Crypto.com, and I'm trying to think who the other one was. All three of them canceled all of their new hirings. These were people that got jobs. They were offered them but hadn't started yet. They canceled all those. So you're always going to see that first. They're always going to cancel open positions first, and then layoffs happen second. Messy Leo chimes in. Great show. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We've got about 5 minutes until CPI data comes in. Roaring Wookie says, I can't find reliable people even to get to work. Roaring Wookie, I totally agree with you. I think the biggest problem is not only the people, right, the workforce, but it's also the management themselves. Okay, the number one reason why people quit a job is often not the job, everyone. It's because of bad management. So yes, we could hire as many people as we want, but if we still have crappy management, if we still have companies that spend and aren't fiscally responsible, we're going to have the same problems over and over and over. But I'm definitely with you, Roaring Wookie, that if people don't want to work, and that has to do with the amount of cash that was pumped into the system during the pandemic, all right? We did not need those last couple stimulus checks. Now, there were people, I will phrase this, there were people that needed the stimulus checks. We did not need everyone to get those. Real has a good point. So many people learned an online gig. That's actually a really good point. Okay, so during the pandemic, so my wife works in a medical office, and during that she had to go through a shutdown because medical offices, got shut down and all that stuff. So my wife actually worked in a medical office, and during the Rona, Wisconsin strong. Where at in Wisconsin, Nathan? I'm very curious on that. But when my wife worked in the optical place, and when the Rona happened, my wife started looking for jobs where you could work at home. Now, luckily what happened was she found a job with the same company she's with to work from home. But that's a very, very good point to bring up, that a lot of people got side hustles and learned to do things online, right? The digital economy. Nathan Stevens chiming in from Wisconsin. Nathan Stevens, I used to live in Wisconsin for 3 years. I attended 2 high schools in Wisconsin for 3 years. In fact, the one high school I attended was the site of a very famous horror movie. Damien Omen, remember the military school in Damien Omen? Yep, that's the school I went to in Wisconsin. So, Benzomatic chiming in from North Carolina. Nathan Stevens chiming in from Wisconsin. We got CPI data coming out in 3 minutes, everyone. Taking a look at it right now. All right, let's take a look. So, all right, so here we go. The markets are starting to react a little bit differently. I've got the 1 hour performance right now up on the chart. Bitcoin just flipped to break even. Over the last hour, we've got the likes of, whoa, Klaus making a mess on the screen. Over the last hour, holy crap, guys, why did I do that? Asheville, North Carolina. Hey, you're not that far from me, Wes. I go hiking out there all the time. Jacksonville, Florida. Where you at, Jacksonville? Rochester, Louisville. There you go. Name the song if you know the song. But XRP right now, over the last hour, sitting at 1.61%. Reels chiming in from Hickory. Oh my God, you guys, I know exactly where all you guys are from. We got XLM right now over the last hour up 0.28% at 10. 8.9. We've got CPI data that is going to be released at any minute now. I've got several screens up. We're going to see what the data tells us. Right now, we're looking at 8.3 was the previous month's data. And as soon as the new data comes out, we're going to add it to the screen. Let's see what happens. We've got 2 minutes right now until the action happens. If we look at a closer, more zoomed in action of XRP, you can see that we saw the retracement, right? There was some definite negative pressure being priced in over the last 48 hours, but right before the announcement, you could see the market is holding steady, waiting for this news. That is why, yes, Pimpin' Peter Griffin is hiring, but he pays cash. But because he's on the Stellar Network, he's able to actually pay you in USDC. So yes, Pimpin' Peter Griffin is hiring Roaring Wookie. But he doesn't have a social security card. So you got to pay him in cash, all right, my good man? So hearing you out there. All right, but what we got to look at right now is this. The market is pausing and waiting. And this is why I love showing this stuff to you guys, because CPI data matters. So all these videos that I do that tell you, hey, there's new dates, you got to look for the 13th, you know, the dates, all this kind of stuff. It's not clickbait. This is all so that we can see what is happening with the market. I am anxiously awaiting to see what the data says for CPI. Michael Lope says, do you think neutral or positive CPI means potential bottom? The last time we had an announcement regarding the Fed's rates, the market split. The market split. TY0 says, when are you going to make a video on Vast Space and Jed? I've actually reached out to them. I'm waiting for an email back so I could get certain materials to make a video on Vast and the Netherlands. We got Faraz94 saying the Netherlands. I saw someone in here from Australia. Yep, Steph Jonas, he says, hello from Adelaide, Australia. All right, so let's chime back in. Let's take a look at CPI data. They should be releasing it at any... Here we go. Sorry, guys, I'm just reading it right now. Give me a sec. All right, here we go. In September, the consumer price index for all urban consumers increased 0.4% and rose 8.2% over the last month. So we are down 0.1% right now. Let's see, how is the market reacting to this? The data just came out. It came out at 8.2, everyone. 8.2. I've got it up on the screen. 8.2% right now for CPI data. The big damning beast right now is energy, everyone. Energy right now came in at 19.8%. Food came in at 11.2%. Hello from Germany, Janis Wagner. I've been actually to the Wagner Opera House in Bayreuth, so just throwing it out there for all my German fans. Yeah, we are at 8.2, everyone. That is what we're looking at right now for the data. 8.2. The market is starting to react more positively over this last hour. You're looking at the likes. Oh, here we go, guys. This is it. This is what we've been looking for. I have been waiting for this. This is exactly what I'm happy about. All right, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Okay, so we have CPI data that just came out, and you could see the market turning red right before our eyes. Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to feel the brunt of it, and you're going to see the market pull from this point on. We're going to leave the heat map up on the screen so that we can watch the markets change as it happens. Right now, though, over the last hour, XRP is holding its own, still up 1%. XLM right now, pretty much even, down 0.1% at 10.8. Bitcoin and Ethereum, though, feeling the brunt of it. Bitcoin 18,550, Ethereum 1223. Now, don't freak out. I'm going to switch this over to the 24-hour just so I can get a better read on what the markets look like. All right, so for the last 24 hours, see Ethereum, guys, this is what I was telling you about. You got to watch out with Ethereum. Down 5.91%, 1222. XRP, XLM seem to be holding fairly decently right now. For those of you that are wondering, the CPI data came out and came in at 8.2%, everyone. 8.2%. All right, big things to pay attention to right now. You got to look at Ethereum liquidation marks, all right? So once we get under 12, that is when we have to be very, very careful of what the F word is going on. Bitcoin, when we start breaking that 18 into the 17s, that's when you're going to see more liquidation stuff happening. Bitcoin in the last 24 hours down 3%, Ethereum down 5.8, XRP, a big pullback in the last 24 hours. Same with XLM. Now, what I'm going to do, though, I'm going to switch right now to the 1 hour to see if there's anything happening in the 1 hour that looks a little different. And what we're seeing is this. XRP is starting to lose some of their oomph over the last 5-10 minutes. Let me get out of this here real quick. Sorry about that, everyone. All right. Sorry, I've just got to shrink my screen just a little bit here. Hold on, guys. Sorry, had to get my new screen up here. All right, so yep, that's what we're looking at right now. We've got red across the board. Now, let's take a quick look at CPI data. I'm going to refresh the screen right here so you guys can see the trending chart for CPI data. For right now, we are going to look at this. Are you guys ready to see how bad this CPI data came in? All right, so it came in at 8.2%. Let's drill down a little bit into energy. Look at energy is bad, guys. Energy is bad. Wow, 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 wow. That is crazy. Definitely crazy. Look at that with energy. That is something. So now we can go back in here. Sorry, guys. Let me just get out of this. All right, so I want to make sure I drill down to the most recent month. Let me see here. Give me a second here. 12-month percentage change, most recent month. Go. Okay. All right. Here we go. Sorry, I'm just looking at the data right now for CPI, guys. I know I did go Zoom happy. But right now we can see XRP, XLM kind of treading sideways. Actually, a little bit more of a retracement on the upside. Let me switch this up here just a little bit. We'll go a little bit tighter time frame. Here you go, guys. XRP is moving on up right now compared to the bottom that was priced in just about an hour or so ago. Let's see if the same thing happens to XLM. Let's switch these candles on up over to the 5-minute. You can see XLM, not the same. Not the same movement. You're definitely seeing stronger movements with XRP. Look at the volume of the candlestick right here. Compare that to XLM. You're not seeing the same action with the likes of XLM at this time. A broad look across the market. This is for the last 24 hours, everyone, all right? So don't freak out, all right? Here we go. Last 24 hours. Bitcoin, Ethereum down bad. I'm going to now switch the heat map down to the 1 hour mark right here. Let's see. Over the last hour, all right? Ethereum big, everyone. 1218. We're definitely going to have to pay attention to Ethereum. Bitcoin, 18,515. Ooh, is that a rough one? Definitely a rough one. All right, so what's going to happen with CPI data? This is what the trend line looks for you, all right? I've got the trend line for CPI data. Oh, don't worry, Sniff. You're okay, man. Sniff, don't feel bad because gold and silver aren't doing crap price-wise, dude. Crap, but anyways. So here is the trend line for CPI data, okay? Oh, yeah, you want to go to monthly on the heat chart? Let me get you here. All right, where you at? All right, David Frayne, you got it, my man. We're going monthly on the heat chart. All right, so this is 1 month, all right, up on the heat chart. And we're gonna tackle this, and then we're gonna get into some more CPI data. So over the last month, so think about this, okay? 1 month ago, September 13th, we got inflation CPI data for the month of August, okay? This is what I want you to think about in your head. 1 month ago, we were at 8.3. All right, here we go, 8.2. So in 1 month, CPI data has only gone down 0.1%. But look at this. In the last month, you're looking at Bitcoin down 17%. In the last month, Ethereum down 29%. XRP, the only shining light over this last month. In this last month, XRP is up 27%. XLM, the other favorite of the channel, is down 4.65% over the last month. So what you're seeing right here, all right, is the monthly price action since the last CPI data. Now, what has me alarmed is this. This is since September 13th, which means in 1 month, CPI data has only gone down 0.1%, but yet the markets are down double digits, everyone. Big stuff that we have to pay attention to here. Now, XRP, look at the candlesticks again. XRP on the candlesticks, we're looking at, yep, a little bit of a retracement back on down. The volume, okay, volume's not too bad here. Let's shorten up. Yeah, so XRP kind of hit their height. Now it looks like they're pulling back down just a little bit. Broader look across the market. Let's switch this out from 1 month and let's move this on over here to the 1 hour. So in the last hour, you can see markets. Yeah, guys, this is what we're looking at. Last hour, the markets priced it in, and now we're looking at more red coming. CPI data, for those of you that are just chiming in right now, CPI data came in at 8.2%. What I also wanted to do is I got H-bar up on the screen. Look at this. So you can see, again, same thing happened across the market, right? They were pricing in the bottom, right? Some rally relief, and now we're kind of pulling back down. So all the charts are looking very, very, very similar. Let's see. What else do you guys want to talk about? Do you guys want to dig a little bit deeper into CPI? Because digging deeper into CPI, we look at energy is 19.8%. Food, right? Things that hit us at home. Food came in at 11.2%, 8.2% for the whole thing. Let me see what I can do here. Give me a second, everyone. I'm going to... Energy commodities, energy services, natural gas, 33.1, everyone. Natural gas went up 33.1. Electricity, 15.5. Jesus, is that rough? That is a rough number. Sorry, let me go back into this. All right, so now let's go back into here. Let's go to all items. Let's go look at the food real quick here. Let's go look at food at home. All right, so what is hitting us bad-wise price at home? Non-alcoholic beverages, okay. As long as alcohol doesn't go up, we'll be all right. Beverages up 12%. Fruits and vegetables, 10%. Dairy products, eggs, cheese, 15.9%. Cereal, wheat. Okay, the whole Ukraine-Russia thing, right? We know that that area is huge into wheat and fertilizer supply. That is going to have a down-the-road, near-term effect, all right? Near-term to down-the-road, right? So you're going to see a near-term to down-the-road effect on the price of grain-related items. So right now we have food at home. Cereals and bakery products came in at 16.2%. Jesus Christ, that is bad. God, is that bad. Let's look at energy services. All right, again, energy services. For my fans in Europe right now, look at this. Natural gas, 33.1. Electricity, 15.5, everyone. That is bad. Let's see. All items less food, commodities. All right, let's check out, see what else is banging. Hey, do you guys remember out there when they said, hey, guess what? The car market is going to crash? They were lying to you. Why? Because guess what, everyone? New vehicles are up 9.4%. What about used vehicles, right? Because new vehicles are so freaking expensive. A lot of people are going used, which has driven up the price of used vehicles. The problem, too, is that we had a chip shortage, which then also forced people to buy more used vehicles because the new ones didn't have the right chips in it. Used vehicles have not crashed. 7.2% right now for used vehicles. That is freaking crazy. Now, alcohol, the things we care about. Alcohol is only up 4.1%. All right? Now, when alcohol goes up double digits, let's hit the panic button. Let's hit the global reset. Okay, that's when we panic. But right now, alcohol is sitting in at 4.1. Tobacco. Okay, I'm gonna hit something real quick here, all right? Tobacco, alcohol, stuff like that. These are products that these big businesses, they prey on lower income families in lower income areas. When you look at the percentage of people that drink and smoke, the overwhelming, like the tipping of the scale, right? The overwhelming majority, the weighted part of it, falls into lower income families and neighborhoods. These big companies prey on people's vices and weaknesses. And what you're seeing here is that tobacco is up 8.2%. Tobacco and tobacco related products, 8.2%. So again, what are we doing with this, everyone? All we are doing right now is simply taxing the poor. Again, new vehicles, that's crazy stuff. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to pull in energy services. We already did that one. Let's go to energy. Let's go to energy commodities. Okay, here you go, guys. This is another big one right here. Is look up the devil's lettuce. Yeah, the devil. You can't see the devil's lettuce on here because they're not federal. But I get what you're saying. Okay, guys, Here's the other big one. So we're going through CPI data right now, okay? Look at this. Energy commodities. Fuel oil up 58.1%. Jesus Christ. Energy commodities up 18.2%. Let's go back to that. Wow. Wow. So look at that. Oil up 58%. Gas up 18.2%. All right, let's go back to the heat map. Let's take a look here. Yeah, market's starting to erode, everyone. We're going to be getting close to that Ethereum 1200 sometime today if this keeps up. The good news, though, is look at this, everyone. Over the last 1 hour, when you see a sea of red like you see here, XRP is up 2%. XLM right now holding steady at 0. I like it. I like it. I like it. Death Angel says, I want to invest in Quant, but Quant runs under the Ethereum network. Yeah, I know. And that I made that point earlier where I don't think I can personally go into Ethereum directly. I'm going to have to go to a layer 2 solution, something that helps Ethereum out with like scaling, throughput, stuff like that. Because I don't think Ethereum is going to be the answer, just like I don't think Bitcoin is going to be the answer. And it's going to be your solutions, your layers to that are going to help out. Wow. All right, guys. I'm actually shocked by this because when I'm looking at the market here, you're seeing the definite movement. You're seeing this big action right here. Now let's do this. Let's go back onto this chart here. Let's refresh these super fast. And if you have any questions or comments, now is the time to ask them. We could cover anything you want on this channel. So XRP had a bottom, most recently priced in right now at 44.5. We are sitting now at 46.2. So just right before the announcement of CPI data, which came in at 8.2%, right before CPI data, XRP had a strong move on up. What we're looking for right here, see this move right here? We need to see this continue just a little bit more. We need it to break through just a little bit more because while that's breaking through on the positive side, we're watching Bitcoin and Ethereum bust on the negative side. And this is that separation that I was telling you about. All right, now let's talk about separation. So what I'm going to do, let's get out of drawing mode. I'm going to go back to line, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare this to the likes of Bitcoin, and we're going to use Bitcoin at blue. And we're also going to compare this. Oh, you guys see what I'm showing you, don't you? I think if you saw my screen, you know exactly what I'm going to show you. So now Bitcoin is blue. Bad Ethereum we're going to put at red here. Now look at the screen. Okay, so check it out, guys. This is exactly what I wanted to show you. What I have up on the screen right now is XRP in purple, Bitcoin in blue, and bad Ethereum in red, all right? Now look at this, right? So right before the market had their announcement, look at this. They were all together. They were all together early this morning. Then as we got close, look at this. As we got close and the announcement was made, here's the announcement right here. As we got close and the announcement was made, XRP goes up, Bitcoin and Ethereum went down. Ooh. This is what we've been following on this channel. This is the separation that I'm talking about. And we got Bo Rabbit chiming in. What's up, Bo? How's it going, my good man? We've got a whole bunch of good fans in here. Twitch Radio always chiming in. And Roaring Wookie, if you want to hire Pimpin' Peter Griffin, I can put you in contact with him. Important to see, though. Important to see that when CPI data was announced, which came in at 8.2, which still sucks. All right, everyone, it still sucks. Look at this, though. When CPI data was released, Ethereum and Bitcoin went down, sorry for hitting the mic, while XRP went up. Now, let's do the same thing. Let's compare this to XLM and see if XLM is having the same kind of action. So we're going to put Bitcoin in blue again on this chart, and we're also going to compare this to Ethereum because that's the other crypto out there that people use as holdings. So we're going to make Ethereum nasty red again because bad Ethereum. There you go. That's exactly what we're looking at here, just like what you saw with XRP, just not as strong. Bitcoin, and I'm going to change this up to a 15-minute just to make that a little bit tighter. There you go. You can see the movement right there. So during the announcement, all right, yes, XLM did go down, but Bitcoin and Ethereum went down even further. In contrast though, right? Look at this. XRP went up while Bitcoin and Ethereum went down. Roaring Wookie says, how close can you trust the data, Klaus? I have trust issues. Okay, here, Roaring Wookie, I'm gonna, okay, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm a Lean Six Sigma guy. Like, I'm fully certified. I've gone through all the training classes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a big Lean Six Sigma guy. So I'm big into stats and data. Roaring Wookie says, how can you trust the data? Here's the first thing. Any company you work for, any government, the data always sucks. I swear to God, the data always sucks. Whenever you go into a project, whenever you look at a place, the data sucks. Data is never good. Here's the thing though. Data may suck, but the collection of data has been the same. So we have equal sucky data to compare it to, or equally inaccurate data to compare it to. So I don't trust the data 100%, but I trust that they lie the same amount of time, or that they use the same fudge numbers. This right here, 8.2, 8.3, here's the trend. Here is the trend that we're looking at. Do I trust the numbers? I mean, not a whole bunch, but I will tell you this. The trend right here shows, yep, a peak in June, pulling back a little bit, but this isn't strong. Here, watch. You guys want to see something really scary here? Here, we're going to blow this out. If you think CPI inflation data is bad, look at this. Look how bad it is. This is the 5-year chart of inflation. So look at it, 2020 compared to now. Look at the inflation we've seen from 2021 compared to now. 2021, we're at like what? 1.2, 1.4% inflation. Now you go to the 10-year. Look at this. Look at the 10-year, everyone. Look at how out of control inflation is. And what the market was looking at when inflation first started going up was this. See this acceleration right here? Like this boom right here? That's what the market was looking for. The market was looking for this to go up fast and to shoot back down fast. That's not what we're seeing, everyone. We are not seeing that at all. We are seeing inflation rip on up hardcore and flatten out a little bit here at the top. That is very, very scary stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my clipping tool here. We're going to clip this. Give me a second, everyone. Sorry about that. I'm going to make a chart here and I'm going to show you guys something real quick. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to go back on over. Oh, hey, Pimpin' Peter Griffin. We're going to get rid of Pimpin' Peter real quick. We're going to get rid of this. Okay. Ooh, sorry about it. Let me get a quick drink here, everyone, and then we're going to talk about inflation data. Let me get a quick drink. If you guys got questions, comments, let me know. Again, inflation CPI data came in at 8.2%. All right, here we go. Okay, so here is what the market was looking for, okay? When we were talking about, hey, what is going to happen with us with inflation? This is the rise you can see over the last couple years, okay? You can see a crazy jack up in inflation. What the market was hoping for was that this fast rise up would be mirrored with the same drop back down, all right? Market was like, hey, if you're gonna run up quick, you better run your ass back down quick. And Russell Rod says, hello to you, Russell. All right, so check this out, all right? Now, that's what the market was hoping for, and that's what economists have been saying. Now, when you go and zoom out just a little bit further, this is gonna get fun, everyone, and you go to the 25-year, this is what economists were hoping for, and I'm gonna show you this right here. It's this segment right here. What economists were hoping for is that if inflation spiked up, like you see right here, that it would quickly drop back down. Now, this happened because of the 2008 housing crash. Obviously, we don't want that to happen again. But economists and the White House were both saying that inflation was going to go up, just like you see here, and then fall right back down just as fast. Honestly, that is not what is happening. When you look at the data right now, you can see that, yes, inflation did spike up right here, but look at this. It didn't drop back down that fast. It's flattened out a little bit. So what the governments were hoping for in terms of, hey, if we get some bad problems quick, we'll take care of them quick, that's not going to happen, everyone. So going into this election, economy is going to be a massive, massive thing, especially with inflation being what it is right now. Now let's get back to the heat map. Let's get back for some comments and questions because I know you got them. Looking at right now, over the last hour, Bitcoin 18,389 down 1.7, Ethereum 1214. Ethereum is holding just above that 1200 mark. We're going to definitely have to pay attention to that because that is the one that could pull the market down quite heavily, especially all the Ethereum tokens with it. Let's see, what else do we got? XRP right now, everyone, up 2.2% in the last hour. We've got XLM in the last hour up 0.2%. I like that. Looking at the charts here, you can see an obvious separation. When the inflation data came out, right, everyone was close to each other. Look at this. Only a couple hours ago were we close to the, right, everyone was close. Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. Since that time, XRP has decided to go positive. Bitcoin and Ethereum has been down, down, down. The market is starting to separate. I did a video about market separation, and that's this one right here. Give me a second. I did it. There was a chart that I put. I don't know where the hell it is, guys. Doing this stuff live isn't always. Here we go. It's this one right here. So this rally came out, and you could see the separation. I highlighted it on this video. We are seeing it happen now live before our eyes, as Bitcoin and Ethereum are getting trounced right now. Ganamai says, most assets are lent 15 times as collateral. One bank failing like Credit Suisse and the whole system is wiped out if they don't stop it. That is very, very true. The collateralization, or I'm sorry, over collateralization and under collateralization and over leveraging. Holy crap, everyone. Is something super common in the crypto market here. Let's look at this real quick, okay? Let's go over here. Let's go to CoinMarketCap. I want to go to CoinMarketCap because I want to show you this really quick here. So let's go to cryptocurrencies. All right, and then here, look at the market cap, all right? It's sitting at 8.81 billion. I'm going to zoom in right here. Oop, hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Let me just go to this. All right, so 7 days. We've got 7 days right now. This is market cap. Okay, so we're looking at market cap over the last 7 days. The majority of the value that you saw wiped out of the crypto space here was never really here value-wise. There was never this much TVL. There never was. The liquidity pools were never this big. In fact, if we look at some of our favorite liquidity pools, like for instance, Stellar's, okay? Stellar's liquidity pool is half of what it was this time, no, not this time last year, a month from now, this time last year. Think about that, half. So most of the value out here is exactly what Ganamai said, that it's money lent on money, lent on money, lent on money. Not a lot of this is real. The TVL is just not what you guys would like to think. Steph Jonasy says, at what point would you buy Ethereum? I don't know if I could buy Ethereum because you're buying directly that, okay? And the problem is Ethereum has throughput issues. I understand that recently Ethereum with the merge, they got all the energy people off their backs, all right? I get that. The problem is, though, is even though they got the energy concerns off their backs, Ethereum as a throughput, the number of transactions that can go through on their chain suck. So that means you have to have a whole bunch of layer 2 applications, which will have their own pool of Ethereum that they work within. Very similar to what you saw with Bitcoin in El Salvador. So no, I honestly, I can't. I'm with Roaring Wookie on this one. I cannot, okay? I cannot go into Ethereum directly anymore. I just can't. I don't see the point of it. Honestly, I thought the merge and getting energy regulators off their back would give them some relief, but that is honestly not the case at all. Let's see. We got some other things in here. Twitch Radio chimes in. Should I say the large majority of the buy orders are for Bitcoin? That would give you a good idea of when this dip will be in. And Luwan Williams chiming in. What's up, Luwan? I read your comments earlier in the chats about it. Inflation came in at CPI data came in at 8.2% right now. If we look at it compared to previous months, that is what the chart looks like. Not too good, everyone. Not looking good at all. Honestly, I think a lot of us out there were expecting to get back hopefully into the 7s. Even if they were the upper 7s, we were hoping to get back to the 7s. The problem is this, though. I told you guys it was going to be rough. I told you guys about a week ago, because what happened was they had the Nowcast levels that came out from the Cleveland Fed, which said CPI data was going to be horrible. Stellar Proud says, thank God I have solar. I have solar in my garage too. I love it. I charge up a lot of tools and I use stuff. Yeah, so I have solar in my garage. I love it. Looking at the heat map right now, everyone. Bitcoin, Ethereum, sideways action. Sideways action. XRP, though, making a move. Let's get a little bit closer into XRP and see the move that's happening with XRP. This is the separate. Oh, making an even stronger move. Look at this. Look at this. I'll zoom in just a little bit, move my chart over. Take a look at this. XRP in purple, Bitcoin in blue, Ethereum in red. XRP is separating itself from the pack. Here you go, up 1.5% in this time frame, while we have Bitcoin down 3.2 and Ethereum down 4.6. So CPI data, which affects, what the Fed does with raising rates, which affects how much money flows into the markets because it's eaten up by interest rates, right? Right now we're seeing this. We're seeing that the market is favoring XRP and XLM over Bitcoin and Ethereum. Here we go. I've got the XLM compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum chart, and we could see very similar action here. They were all together, and then when the data came out, there's XLM right here. Here is Bitcoin in blue and XRP in red. Twitch Radio chimes in, Ethereum is garbage, but people like it. Yeah, I mean, people like Katy Perry too, right? I don't know, everyone. Nico says Legrand decoupling, as the French will say. Yeah, the Legrand, like grand. And le, which means it's masculine instead of la, just throwing it out there. Ganamai says, at Death Angels, Ethereum was taken over by them just to make it a beta testing platform for smart contracts. Brian Betzworth says, how much is ADA up? All right, my good man, I got your back right here. ADA right now up 1.5%, sitting at 36.2 cents. Let's do this, everyone. Let's open up another window, and we're going to open up ADA in here real quick because I want to compare ADA to the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let me do this. Let's go ADA Cardano. We've got that up on the screen. Shots fired. Yes, shots fired indeed. Okay, so now I've got now Cardano compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's give this all just a really quick refresh right here. All right, so Cardano compared to Ethereum and Bitcoin during the announcement. Here you go. Same thing, Cardano, extremely similar to XLM in their performance. So Cardano, since the announcement, only down 0.2. Bitcoin, though, down 3.2. Ethereum down 4.7. Interesting. Now, let's do this. Let's remove Bitcoin and Ethereum from the mix. Now let's look at Cardano. That is scary. That is very, very scary. Let's just blow this time frame out just a little bit more. That is rough, everyone. This is what has me nervous about Cardano, is I honestly thought that there would be some pump out there, even if it's not, I don't want to say, even if it was a sympathy pump, like a sympathy stroke you get from like your ex because she's feeling bad for you because you haven't hooked up with anyone for a few years. But just like a sympathy stroke from your ex, I honestly thought news of the Vasil hard fork would really do more for Cardano. I thought maybe you would start getting a little bit more action in. Did not see that at all. So if we look at Cardano over the last month plus, we could see a massive retracement in price. Now, let's do this. Let's compare Cardano and let's compare Cardano to Ethereum. The reason I want to compare Cardano and Ethereum has nothing to do with the handy that you get from your ex a month ago. No, it has to do with this. Look at this. Remember we talked about like Bitcoin and Ethereum pulling the market, and then on these previous charts here, I showed you that XRP and XLM are separating themselves from the like of Ethereum. Well, take a look at this. When we look at Cardano over the last month, it has moved with Ethereum. Look at this. I can zoom out even further. Look at this. This Cardano and Ethereum have been almost lockstep, everyone, this entire time. Look at how closely these two follow each other. Now, let's just talk Ethereum merge, and let's talk Cardano Vasil hard fork, okay? So Vasil hard fork, Cardano, all that kind of stuff, right? two major projects. Yes, they were both different in terms of scale, complexity, but two major projects for the chain. Over the last 3 months, you could see Ethereum pumped. Cardano had a little mini pump, not too much. But over the last 3 months, Ethereum has been positive with 9.3%. Cardano down 17%. This is crazy. I mean, this is totally crazy. So I don't know. I really did. I was hopeful for Cardano. I really was. I was hoping that the Vasil hard fork would bring more action to him. But right now I'm noticing that the market is looking very similarly to Cardano and Ethereum. What really scares me, though, about Cardano, this right here. Look at this. This is quick, everyone. This is just over the last 5 days. We've seen about a 20% pull in ADA. 20% pullback. That is crazy. Ganamai says, Charles is making enemies everywhere. Bad for protocol. Oh my gosh, Ganamai, I totally agree with you on that one. So if you haven't been following, so what happened with Charles Hotchkiss in the Cardano guy, here's what happened. He basically came out and he said on a podcast, hey, the XRP community out there, the XRP community, there is no grand conspiracy against them. Gary Gensler and the SEC is being fair. That's what he said. Then people came out and were like, well, wait a minute, dude. The SEC met with Ethereum like 8 times, but didn't want to meet with anyone else. Dude, you're picking favorites. And for those of you that don't know, Hodkinson and Buterin are kind of like butt buddies. They kind of like help each other out because they're trying to like, I don't know, work together to kind of put more bad light on XRP. Kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend thing. So anyways, he said that. He came back. He said, no, that's I don't want to deal with the XRP community anymore. I'm done dealing with you guys. Then he says, hey, the lawsuit shouldn't have happened. He kind of 180'd it. What we need to see more so in the space, right, in this crypto space, is less fighting between protocols and tokens and more collaboration, more interoperability between them. I don't know if any token coin out there will be able to survive independently without either a massive Web 2 partner or collabing and having chain interoperability with other massive chains out there. Let's see. Death Angel says, I think he's jealous because Google teamed up with HBAR instead of ADA. And it's honestly, I think that's the thing. I think that's what Hutchinson was thinking. I think he was thinking, hey, I do the Vasil hard fork. I get this done. You're going to see more building, right? You're going to see more building on there. And it didn't happen. It did not. In fact, I watched a video not too long ago about the total value locked on Cardano. Ooh, is it bad? Ooh, is it really, really, really bad? Dom chimes in. What's up, Dom? How are you doing? Dom chimes in and says, Swift at their event confirmed XRP plus ISO 2022. We're going to have to find out more information on that. I will be excited. Diego chiming in. What's up, Diego? I'm glad you made the live stream. Diego says, I sold my ADA a while back for Cosmos Atom. I think a lot of people did that. You know what I mean? All right. Death Angel says, bro, can you tell your top 5 coins? Okay. I'll share with you. I'll share with you a couple. I've got one that's a super personal one. It's my bad mistake that I don't want anyone else to get in. But honestly, I'm a big XLM, XRP, HBAR fan. I really, really like those. There's a couple scaling ones and that I like on the Ethereum chain, but that's just my thing. That has nothing to do with Ethereum. That has to do with these other people that are building on Ethereum that I think could get around it. So I'll give you my top 3: XLM, XRP, and do I have to say the third one yet again? XD. No, I don't want to say XCC. I can't make that up. Sorry, I don't want to make that up. I don't want to give away stuff. I got to keep the suspense going, guys. Let's see. Twitch Radio chimes in. Charles effed himself this time. Yes, he did. He made bad enemies. So now let's go back to the heat map here. We're looking at the performance over the last hour. Over the last hour, okay? So now where are we at? We're at 9:07. So what's going to happen here, the last hour is going to be important because you're going to see the difference price-wise that happened between Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, and XLM. All right, and my third one, HBAR, I know, I don't want to keep saying it, but it is. It's XLM, XRP, and HBAR. Outside of that, I have a couple that I like, but those are my top 3 that I really focus on. So let's take a look right now. Last 1 hour after the announcement of the Fed, we've got XRP chiming in right now, 1.1%. XLM right now pretty much holding it neutral, 10.9 cents. But the big story here is that XRP is separating itself from the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. XLM is doing the exact same thing, separating themselves from Bitcoin and Ethereum. Kaman Sanka said, what's up with the HBAR Coinbase listing? That should be any time now. That should be like any time now, honestly. Twitch Radio says, let's just hope they don't settle so the truth doesn't come out, because if the truth comes out, they are done for. All right, Digital Currency chimes in and says top coins for him are XRP, XLM, XCC, HBAR, Quant, Energy, Web Token on XRP. All right, nice. All right, everyone, so let's take another look at what's going on with CPI data. For those of you that are just chiming in now, don't worry, because as soon as this video is over, the live stream will go into the live stream folder where you are welcome to read it. Here we go, Jerome Powell live in the Fed. But taking a look at CPI data, I will have everything linked down below. Now, if you want to look at CPI data yourself, the website to go to, and I will actually type it on here. Here's the CPI website. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Hold on. CPI website is www.bls.gov/CPI. That is the website that I'm using so that you can look at CPI data. All right, so when we look at CPI data, we can see that energy prices are the main concern right now. Energy services, 19% up. Holy shit, that is crazy. With natural gas up 33%. Electricity, everyone, up 15.5%. Now, you're going to hear a lot, too, about energy in the United States here in the next month or so, because we're going to be using a lot of heating oil here on the East Coast, and that is really going to hamper people quite hard. Nico says, are we supposed to have Ripple court case news today? I know on the 14th, hold on, I'm trying to use my head here. I got up super early for this one. On the 14th, we got something going on. I'm trying to think of what the hell exactly it is. I've got it all written down in my notes. I'll get to it. For the Crown says, good morning to you, Klaus. First time catching live. Keep up the great work. Enjoy your content. I enjoy all the support from the fans. If you feel like supporting the channel, you are welcome to do so. Make sure you hit the like button. Share this with someone who is into crypto. Let's get back into this action. Cryptopocalypse says XRP is decoupled and continue to run on its own. Very, very true. And there was something with the XRP case on the 14th. I'm trying to think, what was it? Oh, yeah. No. I remember. My brain's coming back to me. Okay, so on the 14th, you have two, I'm trying to remember my story. I think it's two companies that are filing for amicus brief status. Okay? There are two companies on the 14th that are going to be filing with the courts in support for XRP. The most recent one we saw was with TapJets, and I can't remember who the other company was. The Digital Commerce Board or something like that was another one that filed the amicus with them. So yes, on the 14th, you're looking at two more companies to join XRP in their defense or support, however you want to say it, against the SEC. So look at that one. Okay, so now let's look at food. Food was 11% overall. If we look at food, snacks, meals are up. That's not a surprise. You look at food at home, guys. This is where the pain is really starting to happen. This is where inflation data is really starting to kick us in our teeth. Looking at food at home, non-alcoholic beverages, the things that we give the kids, 12.9% up. Cereals, things that the kids eat, 16.2%. iRemit. Thank you, BCM Falls. iRemit and TapJets. Thank you very much for that. Let's see. Ganamai says, XRP daily volume looks nice. ODL and work. Yep, ODL has been big for it. Torres approved the briefs. Did Torres approve the briefs? Because they're supposed to file tomorrow. The briefs that Torres approved were for the iRemit and TapJets. All right. So what PipTrader is talking about? PipTrader is talking about Torres approved the two that were previously applied for. TapJets and iRemit, which both came out very positively for Team XRP versus the XEC, saying that XRP is crucial to them doing business, and it has nothing to do with them as an investment protocol. It has all to do with a payment protocol. Interesting stuff here, Gary Gensler. All right, let's see. Yeah, and Rudy Poo's got a good point. It takes time to file an amicus. Yeah, because remember, the SEC can oppose this stuff too, and that's the whole thing. So you're going to have 2 new companies file for amicus on Friday. Then you're going to have the SEC's going to have a chance to then put their word against it. It's going to go back and forth. The judge then will eventually rule on it. You're looking at a few listings. Oh, HBAR listing on Coinbase at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought we still had a few more days. Let me see if I could find that. Here we go. Hold on. HBAR on Coinbase. Let's see if we can find it. All right. Thank you very much for that, digital currency. You kick some massive, massive ass. Yep. 9 a.m. Pacific time today is when Hedera HBAR is going to be listed on Coinbase. All right. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Yeah, digital commerce, Pip Trader, digital commerce, they did file already. I'm almost positive, Pip Trader, that digital commerce already filed. I don't think digital commerce got approval because what happened was the SEC, from what I remember recently, the SEC filed against digital commerce. You know, they did their objection shit to it. They did that. So I don't think digital commerce, they also filed. I'm almost positive they actually filed. But getting back to it, we're seeing more separation from the likes of XRP versus Bitcoin and Ethereum. You could see it right here. Since the announcement of the data, which is right at this point right here, you could see that XRP went up on the positive side, while Ethereum and Bitcoin were both down quite heavy. If we look at a heat map right now, you are seeing that right now, the market is redder than red. This is performance over the last hour, everyone. The market is redder than red, with XRP being one of the few shining stars in the green. No, they, of course, Ganymede says they don't want approval. Oh, God, no. No, they trust me, they definitely don't want approval. That's something we're going to have to keep track of. We're going to have to keep track of HBAR during 9 a.m. Pacific time so that we could see what happens if there's any pump for HBAR. I'd be very interested to see if that actually happens. But CPI data came in. This is what it looks like. We've got a trend going right now on the screen. We had a peak high in June of 9.1. We have since backed down 8.5 in July, 8.3 in August, 8.2 in September, everyone. A lot of good action here. So what is on everyone's mind right now? We've got a bunch of people watching the live stream. Love watching the juice like this. Love watching you guys chime in and watch inflation data related information. I know the big thing that I'm paying attention to has to do with Cardano. It honestly has to do with the fact that Cardano is slipping in favor, everyone, right now in the market. In fact, if we zoom out even further, you could see how bad this actually is from Cardano's high, right, in that early September point to where they are now. I mean, we're talking Cardano busting at that $3 mark, down now to 36 cents, everyone. 36 cents. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's go S&P 500. S&P 500. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's kind of what you're looking at, Twitch. This is the previous, so we're still not there yet. We have to wait just a little bit here. Gonna have to wait here. Here we go. S&P and NASDAQ post their new 2-year lows after the Fed signals higher unemployment may be necessary to tame inflation. All right. So here is what we have to start focusing on. You have inflation data, right? CPI data that we've been covering. As inflation data comes up, what happens is this: the Fed raises rates. Fed raises rates. It makes the cost of everything doing business going up, which means businesses cut costs, which means exactly this. The Fed signals higher unemployment may be necessary. So the Fed, now here's the problem, all right? All right, I'm going to go on a tangent here. If any of you people out there are anti-big government, you're probably going to like this next segment, so hold on tight. All right, the Fed. everyone hates the Fed. And the reason they hate the Fed is because the Fed comes out with this big hammer and they just smash the market. They just smash the market and they just smash the market, all right? The Fed does not have many tools in their toolbox. They can add to their balance sheet or they can start tinkering with rates, all right? There's not really too many tools to work with. Now, in the United States, the reason that we are having inflation issues has to do with supply chain constraints, okay? Prices, think of cars. Cars is a really, really good one, all right? Cars. The reason cars went up in price is because chips, right? We ran short on chips. So then what happened was you had all these buyers for very few cars, right? Big demand, low supply, jacks up price, all right? The same thing has happened with a whole bunch of other things. The same thing happened with homes too, right? There were a whole bunch of people that wanted to buy. There weren't that many homes. Boom, jacked up the price in homes. Now, the Fed cannot do anything about supply chain. Do you guys remember when home costs were going out of control because the price of lumber was crazy? Again, supply chain. What about oil? I don't know. The U.S. shut down pipelines and shut down oil production, right? So what do you think happened here? They lowered the supply, but the demand was still pretty high, wasn't it? So again, supply chain related things. So a lot of the price things that we're dealing with right now, inflation-wise, have to do with supply chain. How do you fix supply chain, everyone? Businesses have to produce more. Governments have to deregulate. Governments need to get the F out of the way so that businesses can produce. Or governments have to make it favorable so that businesses can produce more to keep up with the demand. Now, you're probably sitting there and you're going, Klaus, the government is not responsible for supply chain issues. You're full of shit. Do you guys remember what happened with formula in the United States? In the United States, we had a baby formula shortage. Do you know why we had a baby formula shortage? Because of a law passed in Congress that required X amount of the baby formula to contain a certain product that we didn't have that access to in the United States. Easily have access to. We then got access to it. We started putting it, I thought it was like soy or something weird shit like that. But anyways, we couldn't get baby formula in the United States. You know what our government did? Our government was like, you know what, let's just change things. Let's allow us to get baby formula from the European market. It doesn't have the chemicals that we require, but we're going to allow it. How fucking stupid is that? So you're telling me that babies in Europe, right, that got this chemical, all right, that was in their stuff, that's so bad that the U.S. couldn't do it? No, babies in Europe are fine. What happened was the United States government imposed a regulation which made the manufacturing of baby formula in the United States harder, more expensive, and less available, which drove the price of baby formula up. Drove the price up so high that parents couldn't even afford it. Supply chain? Yes. So Europe doesn't have the same regulation. So what did our government do? Our government, well, wait a minute. Our regulations are too strict. Let's get rid of our regulation, and now let's allow Europe to import or export some of the baby formula to us so that our kids can drink. That is our government for you. Our government does not fix supply chain issues. Our government muddies the water and makes it worse, all right? Yes, baby food cartel. All right, so now here's another one for you, all right? Supply chain. Okay. Canada did not allow anything to happen across their border for a long time, which also meant people that worked in wood mills across the border weren't able to get in right away. Now, gold miners were because they were able to get in under necessity, right? Mining operations were. But a lot of wood production was shut down. So wood production was shut down, which means you didn't have the building materials. Again, the United States government imposing regulations, Canadian government imposing regulations, kills the supply chain. Oh, what about chips in the United States? Yet another example, all right? Another example. We didn't have enough chips here in the United States. Because of our restrictions, because of how expensive it is, we had to get our chips from overseas. Oh, supply chain related yet again. So now what does the U.S. government do? Now the U.S. government passes laws and all these bills. It says, hey, we're going to give money for the chip industry to be produced here. See, that's my point. The reason the Fed has to act is because the United States government is not acting fast. They're not acting with your best interest in here. What about gasoline, everyone? Oh my, should I bring that up and piss off a whole bunch of people? How about this? How about the U.S. government? When they came in, they said, we're shutting down the pipeline, no more offshore drilling. Yeah, let's kill our supply. Let's make ourselves more reliant upon external energy and external oil. Again, supply chain. So when you start looking at CPI data here, and when I start clicking on this, and when I start clicking on energy, and when I start clicking on energy commodities, and I look at gasoline up 18%, and when I look up at oil at 58.1%, I look at this going, yeah, the reason our energy is so freaking bad is because we're not energy independent, because our governments haven't made the supply chains easier to work on. They keep getting in the damn way. We did not need to shut down pipelines. We did not need to stop offshore drilling. Should you regulate it? Yeah, don't over-regulate it. But should you regulate the stuff? Yeah, there were already regulations in place. So what did we do? We cut our supply, our production of oil and energy in the United States to be more reliant upon the rest of the world. And then what happens is the rest of the world gives us the old big middle finger saying, yeah, we got you by the balls, US, because you stopped your production. That is why the Fed has to come in. So what does the Fed do? The Fed looks at fuel. The Fed looks at gasoline, which I got up on the screen. Hey, fuel oil is up 58.1%. Gas is up 18.2%. So the Fed comes in, the Fed says, hey, the government is not doing anything to open up the production of gas. Well, since the government isn't doing anything to help the supply chain part of it, what do? We're going to raise rates, which means you have less money, because when they raise rates in the Fed, you pay more interest for your credit cards, your homes, auto loans, all that kind of stuff. So since the government isn't fixing the supply part of it, the Fed comes in and says, we're going to screw demand, we're going to screw over the consumer, we're going to screw over you. Now, how does that apply? Well, it actually applies fairly easily, because look at this. S&P 500 and NASDAQ post new 2-year lows after the Fed signals higher unemployment may be necessary to tame inflation. That's the bullshit. That is the bullshit. We do not need to screw the economy over to make things balanced. No, you have to fix the supply chain. You have to fix the over-regulation by the government and by the regulating bodies out there in order to make things make more sense. Digital Orgy said this guy is about to tell everyone to buy Tesla and Bitcoin. I am not telling anyone to buy Tesla and Bitcoin. I am the furthest from that. But my big point here, though, is that the Fed does not fix the supply chain. And right now, the problem that we're dealing with is we have demand here, we have supply here. What do? You got to raise supply. Since the government is not allowing supply to be raised, energy, baby formula, food, building materials, all that kind of stuff. What does the Fed do? Fed says, well, since the government isn't helping drive supply up, we're going to take demand and we're going to smash the shit out of demand. That is the problem we have right now across the globe. Nothing is happening right now when it comes to supply chain fixes. Hendricks chimes in, what is the CPI data? Well, I got it for you right here. CPI came in at 8.2%. The highlights for CPI came in at this: energy up 19.8%, food 11.2%, all items 8.2%, all items less energy and food 6.6%. BMC Falls says that's how the government picks winners and losers, and that's exactly right. That is why I get so pissed off with this stuff. That is why I'm so pissed off with the SEC versus the XRP, because all the government is doing is trying to over-regulate. They're not trying to regulate with people, okay? It's been told often that the SEC is regulating by enforcement. All right? Regulating by enforcement is very different than having an open door policy. Regulating by enforcement has a very negative connotation. Very, very negative connotation. Right now, the SEC is stifling the growth of an economy, supply chain, stifling the growth of an economy in the United States. Now, the United States is having some problems economically. We are not really a hub for much. We're not like a great power like we used to be. We don't manufacture a lot of stuff here. We're not like a big tech hub like we used to be. It's a mess. So our government, it is not allowing for supply chains to be easier. They're not getting rid of regulations. They're just adding more and more rules, more and more laws. And every time we see these idiots go up on the hill, what are they doing? They want to send more money out of the country. They want to do more things that make more regulation, that don't help the supply chain. We don't have affordable housing in the United States, everyone. We don't. We don't have the building materials to build affordable housing. We don't have the land at a cheap enough rate to build affordable housing. Where I live right now in South Carolina, land is going for $25,000 to $20,000 an acre. I do not live anywhere fancy or nice. I live very rurally, and land is going out of control. I bought Charlie Lee's bag. Says I subbed, I liked. Thank you very much. Please do that. Hit the subs, hit the likes. Yes, target was 8.1, came in at 8.2. Vegan and BB Justin chimed in. I just woke up 2 minutes ago and joined the live. Well, that's because you're West Coast, my good man. You were supposed to be sleeping until the action came out. All right, let's get back into it. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on the rant regarding supply chain, but that's exactly how the Fed works. Since the U.S. government is not acting to allow supply to grow, the Fed comes in and says, well, supply isn't growing. Let's smash demand. We're demand. They smash the consumer. Hendrik says, in Europe, everything is bad also. I just bought a one-bedroom apartment sharing with my wife and my newborn. Dude, I know, man. It's horrible. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. Vanish says, what website is it that you're on? I can't find it. Can you link it in the chat? Hey, Vanish, let me know, what website do you want? Do you want the CPI website, the heat map? If you want the CPI data, okay, I'll put it up on the screen. CPI data. Hey, Jimmy, if you knew where I live, dude, $25,000 an acre is, trust me, where I live, that's an insane price. I'm not talking about premium farmland in Nebraska or downtown, you know, Manhattan. I'm talking about I live in the country. I mean, like, I live in the country. You guys know where they blew up the Georgia Guidestones? I live very close to that. That's how rural I live. CPI data is found, I'm putting it up on the chat for you guys, is found here, www.bls.gov/CPI/. All right, so that's where you find the CPI data. Heat map, all right, is coin360.com. All right, there you go. All right, so let's see here. Getting back to the comments. Okay, yeah, Vanish says, I want the XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum chart you had up. Okay, that's really easy to do. I'll show you guys how to do that. Okay, so for anyone that wants to do the comparison chart like this, you could go onto Yahoo Finance, all right? And I'll do it with you guys live just so you can see it. So I'm going to open up a new window on Yahoo Finance, all right? And I like using Yahoo Finance because I can switch between stuff. So let's do this. Let's put in XRP as our symbol, and I'm going to put XRP up here. And I'm going to do this with you guys. You then go to full screen. Steph Jonasy says, I wish I could keep watching. Just started watching your channel a week ago. I got to go to bed. Definitely go to bed, man. Definitely go to bed. Let's see. All right. So now when you go to Yahoo Finance and you put Ethereum in, or I'm sorry, XRP in, you could then go to comparison. That's then where you could put in, if you want to compare Bitcoin, you could change the colors, all that stuff. Not only can you change it from lines, you can also change it from candles on your primary to see if your candles are doing it, as well as your area to see if anything is you know, surpassing it. Easy way to see it. So yeah, that's the one I use. It is Yahoo Finance. You just go in, pivot your tables, easy stuff to do. Central Texas, no man's land. Yeah, I mean, like, and that's kind of my thing. So even where I live, like, I live super rural, like heavy, dense woods, very, very rural, and even land by me is nuts. So to give you guys an idea, no problem, Vanish, I got your back. To give you guys an idea, like, even by me, like, housing is just going through the fucking roof. It's just crazy what we're seeing. But the big highlights for today is this. We have CPI data that came out 1 hour ago. So now what you're seeing up on the screen is how the market has reacted since CPI data. I waited and waited for this so I could share it with you. 1 hour ago, the data was released, which means everything you see on the screen is how the market reacted to the data. Don't you find it odd that who are some of the only green ones out here? XRP. XRP. Look at that, everyone. While the rest of the market is down quite heavily. In fact, in the last hour, since the announcement of the CPI data, Ethereum, everyone, is down almost 3% to 1209. We are getting darn close to that 1200 mark. Dream Place. Where's the Dream Place? Central Texas? I was just going through Texas. I was just actually going through oil fields of Texas like a month ago. But Bitcoin right now down 18,320, down 2.3%. Guys, the market is reacting to CPI data. Very, very few coins, tokens out there are in the positive over the last hour. In fact, if we look at XLM now compared to it, XLM, you can see now it's starting to pull back just a little bit, everyone. XLM over the same time period down 1.8%, Ethereum 5.3, and Bitcoin 3.5. I don't know. Market's reacting. We're definitely seeing a separation here with Bitcoin and Ethereum taking way more pressure than the likes of the alts and utilities out there. And it all has to do with CPI data that just came out. Some of the big ones to highlight with CPI data is oil up 58.1, gasoline up 18.2. Food, guys, some of the big ones for food, grain products, cereals, stuff like that, baking products, 16.2%. You're looking at, oh man, dairy, 15.9%. Holy crap, man. Diego Rodriguez chimes in, regulation by enforcement sounds more like China's cup of tea and the United States' cup of tea, oddly. Yep, Gary Gensler in the SEC has definitely been regulating by enforcement rather than trying to play nice with each other in the sandbox. Final Ken says XLM was already down from 13 cents before the data, so it's not shocked. Yeah, that's what I was looking at too. I was looking at before the data was released. Let me clear the comparisons in here. When I was looking at before the data released, I was looking at this right here going, wait a minute. We're already seeing some bigger retraces here. What's going on with that action? And in fact, we saw the same thing with XRP last night. I saw a 2% candlestick last night that caught my attention. Let's see if I can... it was this one right here. Or no, this one right here I saw last night. That one caught my attention. Definitely caught my attention. But what we're going to do, we're going to run this to 9:45 Eastern time this morning. So if you have your comments, if you have your questions, now is the time to ask them. Again, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. Don't worry, if you missed this video, it will be in the live stream folder as soon as this video is done. I've got the trend right now for CPI data up on the screen. It's rough, everyone. It is really rough. And if you want to put this CPI data into better perspective, right, further perspective, take a look at this right here. Look at how crazy high it is with it flattening out. That's on the 5-year. Let's zoom out to show you really how bad CPI data is. There you go. That's how bad CPI data is. For how many years we were floating sideways up and below that 3% to like 0%. And you don't want 0%, trust me. The Fed wants 2%. That's their target rate. But we were going sideways for all this time up until the pandemic happened. Controlled demolition, digital orgy. You are right, man. You are right. So if we zoom out even further, you can see that inflation is definitely the highest we have ever seen over the last 40 years in the United States. And this is not a problem that is just affecting the United States. We're seeing inflation numbers like this all over the place, with the likes of central banks in England, in Canada and all that, raising rates to combat inflation. Yes, Ganamai says, I can feel it in my wallet. Yeah, we all can. CPI data has been harsh. It's been really rough. We're going to do this. We're going to go, give me 1 second. I'm going to put a quick message up in the chat. We're going to go in. We're going to go 9:45 a.m. Eastern time, ending time. All right, that way you guys know how long we're going to be going till in this stream. I'm going to pin it up there, up on the top. Diego Rodriguez chimes in and says, if XLM drops, I'm swooping in to buy more. Let's take a look. XLM over the last day. Look at this. Now we're seeing the movement pull back down. Pulling back down. Final Ken says, I pay all my bills with Coinbase crypto card and get 4% back in XLM and send it to Ledger. Hey, Kens, how much longer is that 4% with XLM? Is that going through November? I thought I only heard it was going through mid-October, but let me know, Final Kens, if you know. Vegan to Baby Justin chimes in. Do you feel the market will keep dipping it? Honestly, yeah. Guys, here's the thing. Everyone thinks that inflation data is the beast, all right? Inflation data is not the beast. It's not the killer. The killer is the Fed raising rates, which makes everything so expensive, which is the killer, which drives down growth of the market. That's the problem, see? Because as the Fed raises rates, the cost to do business is crazy. The cost for homes, cars, all those loans, home equity lines of credit, credit cards, that all goes up. as all that goes up, you're paying more in interest. When you're paying more in interest, that means you have less available money to put into your discretionary funds, which that's what crypto falls into. So the big pain is not CPI data. The pain is the reaction of the Fed by raising rates to hopefully knock down the demand part of it, which is people like you and I. So that is the very, very scary part. Pip Trader says, rumor is Ripple is meeting with the global market maker Friday, supposedly dealing with the Treasury Department. Ooh, that would be interesting. I would like to see that. Akbar, DJXX, Cost, do an update about Meridian 2022. Yeah, real quick, I wanted to talk to everyone about Meridian 2022. You know, I'm actually kind of bummed, to be honest with you, that they weren't simulcasting Meridian online. And okay, here's my thing with Meridian. I'm gonna make this point, okay? I'm gonna make this point, all right? Here's how this goes. Stellar is open source, open chain, all right? So if they're open source, open chain, wouldn't you think that they would make their meetings like this open? Right? Wouldn't you think that? I had a couple messages from people out there that asked me, they're like, hey, Klaus, why aren't you at Meridian 2022 this year? And well, for those of you that don't know, I was actually invited to go this year. I couldn't make it, though, because of two reasons. Number one, I had to prepare for an adventure trip that I had to cut short because my dog got injured. So that was the first reason. The second reason is, and for those of you that don't know, I gotta make sure I don't show anything too private here. But the other reason why I could not go to Meridian 2022 is because I'm gonna show you guys right now. I don't know. Can you guys see this all right? I am a new grandfather. So the big reason why I couldn't go to Meridian 2022 is because I will be watching over the homestead while my wife goes to visit my daughter who just had a child out in South Dakota. So no, Meridian 2022 was something that I could not participate in this year. I was training hardcore for my Colorado trip. I've got another trip here that I'm training for right now. I've got my brother-in-law's wedding coming up here soon, like really, really soon. And then I also had this event here, which was I am a brand new grandparent. So my wife is going to be taking off, going to visit my grandson. How freaking cool is that? So, yep, that is why I couldn't do Meridian 2022. And that's what bugs me. That's what actually bugs me about this, is that they did not broadcast it live. I would have liked to have seen this broadcast live because I think a lot of people want to get into it. There's people out there that even were in Europe, everyone. They were in Europe and they're like, hey, I can't take off of work to make this. I can't pay for the flight to go over there. And Reverend Funky Melvin says, congrats, Grandpa Klaus. Yes, I am. I am Opa Klaus right now. I'm a super young grandparent. But that is one of the big reasons why I could not go to Meridian. We did not know when my daughter was going to be having her baby, and she went almost full term, which surprised the shit out of us. Vegan and Baby Justin says, do you think ADA is a good long-term hold? I don't know, man, Justin. Here's the problem I have with ADA, and I got it up on the screen. Look at this. I mean, they've pulled back, guys, from $3 to 36 cents. Now I understand. All right, now let's do this. Let's put it to the height. All right, let's be fair. Let's just compare this. Let's compare this to the likes of, say, XRP. All right, let's just do that. Just from the peak. All right, just to see what happens. All right, see, here's the problem. All right, during the same time period. All right, and this is for you, Justin. During the same time period, XRP is down 59%, while ADA is down 87%. Let's just add one more. Let's add one more. Let's add XLM to the mix, right? XLM is getting added to the mix. Let's go do that. XLM, we're going to put in green. See, so you can see, even comparing XLM into that, it's just not the action right there. So when I look at it as ADA. I don't have much faith in ADA, and that's just my personal opinion, everyone. I mean, don't take it for gospel. I just don't have a lot of action and hope in ADA. Part of the reason why I don't have faith in ADA has to do with this, Justin. Over the last 3 months, right, we're talking Basel hard fork, all right, all that kind of stuff. Basel hard fork did nothing for the likes of ADA. It didn't even pop up the volume. And that was the other thing too, man. Like, it didn't even bump up the volume. So Justin, like, this is directly for you, Justin. That's what scared me. What scared me was when they had the Vasil hard fork, there was no pump, even in volume. Forget if the price stayed neutral, right? But if more people were into it because, you know, it was in the news, it didn't even do that. Now, when Ethereum had the merge, all right, we saw a huge pump from Ethereum when they had the merge. So, you know, very different here, okay? Ethereum has the merge, they pump. Now, granted, Ethereum has retraced, let's be fair here. But Cardano never even pumped. Their volume never even pumped. So that kind of bugged me a little bit. Grandpa at 38. Yep, I am a grandpa at 42. And that's, yeah. So, yeah, that is the reason. So now getting back, Forrest Gump chimes in, says they're not interested in the average Joe attending. And that's what bothers me. That's what bothers me about this, okay? Is number one, I hate galas. I hate dressing up fancy. I hate all that kind of stupid shit. When I was a corporate guy, you guys are going to love this. When I was a corporate guy, I wore Adidas clothes all the time. Like, everyone who knew me in corporate knew, like, dude, he was always comfortable. Yeah, because I hate all the dressing up fake crap. Like, I don't need to go to dinner parties. I don't need to shake hands with people and rub shoulders and all that stupid crap. And this is what bothered me. What bothered me was they had this beautiful thing right here, but yet they couldn't broadcast it publicly. And so the comment was, basically, hey, they only are wanting this for important rich people, and that's the problem. And that's the problem. No, Jock, actually my wife said yes. Actually, my wife was cool with me going. And God's honest truth, yeah, my wife was cool with me going. Part of it is I didn't really want to go. I don't like events like that, guys. I've done the corporate thing. I've done the big events and the hoopla things and the yearly sales. I mean, I've done all that. Like, this stuff doesn't excite me anymore. And the problem with these events like this, and okay, all right. I'm gonna do this. Do you guys want me to go into a rant of why I hate events like Meridian? If you want to go into a rant, hit yes in the comments, and I will end this stream in a rant why I hate this stuff, why this kind of stuff bugs me. Let me know. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if you want to hear my rant about Meridian and why I'm very anti things like this. I will let you know, and it'll probably open your eyes. But until I get the answers on what I should do, just giving some highlights right here, that CPI data is rough. And thank you very much, Twitch, for sending the congratulations on the grandchild. Dude, the grandbaby is like super cute, man. Like, the grandbaby is like super, super cute. And the best part is my daughter and the baby are both extremely healthy. Like, see? Cute little baby, everyone. How cool is that? All right, so you guys want the rant? You guys want it? All right, so I'm going to do a rant. It's probably how we're going to end the live stream. So if you guys want to make your comments, support, whatever you want to do it now. Okay. Whew. All right. Here we go. We're gonna dive deep here, all right, guys? We're gonna get into the rant. We're gonna dive deep. We're gonna talk about why this kind of stuff pisses me off. Okay, so Meridian 2022, all right? Meridian 2022 is paid for by the Lumens, all right? It's paid for by XLM. They use Lumens to pay for their business stuff. That's nothing crazy about that. The majority of cryptos out there use their holdings to pay for stuff. Now, here's the thing. They're paying for an event like this, all right? Now, when you're paying an event for like this, that means any of us that have invested in XLM, that means they're using our money. Okay, now, before I started doing like the YouTube stuff, I retired and I worked for the biggest optical manufacturing company in the world, all right? So I got exposed to a lot of really cool stuff. Now, that company that I worked for, and Roaring Wookie chiming in, the Granddaughter Stuffed Animal Fund. Well, thank you very much, Roaring Wookie. I appreciate that. I will definitely do that. I had a lady that I know. She's a British lady. She gave me $20 so that I could get a Union Jack teddy bear. So I found one on eBay, actually, and it's coming. I'm so excited. So thank you for that, Roaring Wookie. I greatly appreciate that. It means a lot. So anyways, I worked for this big company, a corporate company. Every year we had sales meetings, and every year we had like regional meetings, right? Regional operations meetings and stuff like that. Every time we would go to these meetings, they would want to wine us and dine us, all right? You would look at this, okay? and you would see like, wait a minute, look at all the opulent stuff. We'd be going out to these fancy restaurants. I'd be hanging out with like CFOs and all these big shots of this company, okay? And every time they go out, they would want to try to impress all of us out there and be like, you know, all of any of the general managers, any of the directors, any of the VPs, they would want to really try to impress us all, like the high ups. So they would always spend a shitload of money, all right? So here's the problem. The problem is that I go to these meetings and I'm watching you. And no, I got you, Jack. Don't worry, man. The problem is I would go to all of these fancy meetings, right? Seafood. I kid you not. At these meetings, they'd be like, hey, Klaus, I got a seafood app for you coming. It'd be like this big $100 seafood tower. I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this, man? I'll eat like 3 or 4 shrimp and like a couple crab legs and I'll be like, stuff. Like, what the hell? So anyways, they would spend all this money on that. Crazy bottles of wine, all sorts of stuff. In fact, I went to a meal where there were 8 of us at the meal, and this was when I was in San Diego. There were 8 of us at the meal. When our bill came, it was over $3,000. Now, mind you, all right, during this meal, I felt like a complete scumbag because at the facilities that I was in charge of, I was already telling my managers to cut back labor. I was saying, hey guys, things are tight corporately, we have to cut back labor, but here I am in San Diego eating and living high off the hog. That pisses me off, and that's what I didn't like about that. And that's what I don't like about things like Meridian. I get it. You want to put it in Rome, but it's fancy. Okay? People don't have the money to fly. People don't have always the time to take off. All right? XLM, price-wise, is down like this, and you're spending more and more money on lavish things like that. Now, what I would rather like to see is a more humble approach. Do another one. Hey, invite people to come to your office in San Francisco. Have an open house where you not only do Meridian online and broadcast it, but you invite people to come to you in San Francisco at your own place. You're not renting out places. You're not worried about paying people for travel, junk like that. You're doing it all at home, saving money, because the more money you save from lavish, stupid things like this, the more you can reinvest into your company and into your product. That's why I don't like stuff like this. That's why these events like this, where everyone is, you know, all dressed up and everyone's sitting here kissing ass and rubbing shoulders and all this, they can all suck it. I don't like that. Yeah, it was over 3,000. We went nuts, man. Like, we went nuts. And now, mind you, that meal that I was telling you about, it was in San Diego, it was over 3,000. I cannot tell you how much of a scumbag I felt like when I then had to go talk to all my other managers after this meeting was over and be like, hey, we have to reduce staff now hours by at least 10%. I've got to cut my OPEX overall by 5%. So yeah, that kind of bugs me. You know what I mean? So when I look at all this stuff in here, yes, am I excited to see things like Meridian? But do I need to see things as lavish as this? And Jimbo Tango, not a viewer. Jimbo Tango's not a viewer. He's a super channel supporter who will probably beat me the next time he sees me because I called him a channel viewer in one of the videos and he called me out. But Jimbo Tango chiming in, thank you very much, sir. Yes, that was one of the big reasons why I couldn't go to Meridian. I'm a brand new grandfather. I'm a brand new grandfather. But that's what bothers me about this. Now, I understand, okay? All right? I understand that, yes, you have to allure investors. You have to allure people to your product. All right? I get that. But the problem is you don't have to be lavish over the top. And Nico, I get it, right? Nico says to be fair, Europe is a good midway location to accommodate participations traveling. It is. But do you need all the fancy dinners and all that kind of stuff? No, you don't. You don't. Forrest Gump chimes in, I took my whole family out to Sumo's for my wife's 52nd birthday. It was $300 and I'm not ever going back there. We're going to get pizza next time. Exactly. And that's the kind of person I am. And again, thank you very much, Jimbo Tango, for the donation to the channel. Going to the baby bear, the baby's teddy bear fund. God, I can't even talk today. So that's my problem. It is. And the other problem I have too is, now remember, what's the big difference between Stellar and a lot of the other cryptos? Stellar is open source. Stellar is a nonprofit. Which means I think you honestly should have simulcast this. Do you know how many people, comments-wise, that I've gotten? And I'm sorry that this rant is going on. But do you know how many comments I've gotten from people saying how pissed off they were that Meridian was not being simulcasted live? Do you know how many people out there would have loved, while they were at work at lunch, to go on their phone while they're at break, check out what's happening in the latest Meridian? A lot of people would have loved to have seen it because a lot of people care about it. Limiting it to only people in attending is junk. Now, here's what I'll say. If you're only limiting it to people attending, that would make sense if you're charging money, because then you'd be like, well, hey, I don't want to broadcast it for free if I want to get people, you know what I mean, to pay money for my event. But this event was free, everyone. This event was free, and they couldn't simulcast it. That bugs the shit out of me, because remember, Stellar is made for the people. Right? It's open source. It is made so that anyone can build on it. If it's made so that anyone can build on it, why isn't your information then made for everyone to digest it? That's where I have the problem. That's why I don't like the greed that you're seeing with some of these things, all right? Cool, you're going to Rome to do this. You know what? You could have picked a much cheaper place, couldn't you? Right? Do you have to do all the... No, you don't. You don't have to do that. All right, and that's where I get upset. So yes, there is some good stuff coming out of Meridian, but I'm still going to say that what Stellar needs is more than a partnership with MoneyGram. Stellar needs a partner that's going to be more than MoneyGram, that's going to be bigger and use anything. And yeah, Digital Orgy, you're totally right. Anyone can build an XRP ledger. And thank you, Forrest Gump, for chiming in. I don't know. It bugs me. It really does bug me with that kind of stuff. So yes, I would love to see it next time as a simulcast event. Oh yeah, Meparatus. Oh my God, guys, this is what I was talking about. So Meparatus actually commented in one of my videos saying exactly this. So Meparatus says, that's so dumb to host an in-person only event. Stellar is made for the people, but only if you have enough money and time to go to Rome in person. That's my point. And hey guys, we got Molt Money chiming in. What's up, Molt? How are you doing, my good man? Awesome. Good to see you here, Molt. But yeah, and that's my point about this, is these meetings here, I don't know, like, should you be lavish over the top, right? When you're in a crypto winter, should you really have said, because remember, when this announcement was made with Rome, we were already in the crypto winter. If you were in a crypto winter, wouldn't you have liked to have seen it where maybe they kind of dialed it back just a little bit? You know what? Let's host it in the States, but let's simulcast it to all these different, like, why not do something like that? That bugs me. So no, Meparatus, I got your back regarding that. I seriously, I think that's what bugs me about this. Stellar is open source, open code, made for the people. Anyone can build on it, and yet the damn problem is they didn't even simulcast the event. Personally, like from a personal standpoint, okay, let's not talk about me like as a versus the channel. Me as a person, like how I feel, I was honestly turned off. I was honestly turned off. I really was. And Nico says, to make money, you need to spend money. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But Nico, there's a big difference between spending money that leads to action and spending money that makes it look like things are okay when they're maybe not. It's a very different point. Everyone spends money, but the problem is, are they spending it the right way? Are they financially responsible? That's the problem that I have. Molt chimes in, doing great, Klaus. We all appreciate your work. Excellent insight every day. Big thing. You know, the thank you goes to Molt, because honestly, I'm a big fan of Molt Money. I'm glad he's chiming in with the chats with us. We got to get Molt out there, cranking out more Stellar content. He had a good video. I think it was like last week that I saw it. Had a good video. It was really, he had good views on that one too. Meparatus says, Stellar marketing budget seems to only use posting tweets every 5 minutes so far. And that's kind of what bugs me. That totally what bugs me. Let's see. Roaring Wookie chimes in. And Roaring Wookie, thank you again. I greatly appreciate it. Roaring Wookie says, Klaus, I'm out. Thank you for your painting of the current crypto habitat. I appreciate it. Jock chimes in. They don't us peasants bothering while they're at the buffet. Whose house? Klaus. That's right. It's Klaus's house, right? You don't mess with my house. But that's the thing that bugged me. I wish they would have simulcasted. I wish they would have made it available to everyone. We're going to start wrapping up the live stream here. So if you want to say your thanks, say goodbyes to people in the chats. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to kill my camera feed so I could slowly start shutting down some of my peripheral devices. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to play just a smidge of music here real quick. I'm going to go to a couple charts, and we're going to get to action. If something comes up, I'm going to jump in. Guys, I'm still here. I'm just going to play some music, go to the heat map. And I'm still here, guys. I'm just giving my throat just a little bit of a rest. If you have questions or comments, I'll gladly shut the music down and answer them. But I want to start wrapping down the stream. So say your like, say your thank you, share it. Thank you very much, everyone. If you got comments, now's the time. And a personal goodbye to Jimbo Tango. Thank you again, sir, for supporting the channel all the way from Ireland. Nico chiming in saying, great show, Klaus. Jimmy Riggins says, thanks, buddy. Do this more often. Keep the thanks coming, guys. I appreciate it. And that is what she said. She needs to give her throat a rest because Big Daddy Klaus came to the house. And real quick, I wanted to kind of show everyone, while you guys are putting your thanks in, seriously, serious thanks for all of you guys for watching. You guys make this stream so much fun. I love doing this kind of stuff. Totally worth getting up early in the day. Yeah, I'm getting up earlier and earlier every day, but it's totally worth it. Now, real quick, just looking at the heat map. So right now I have the performance up over for the last hour, okay? Over the last hour, so since the announcement of the data, Bitcoin down 1.8%, Ethereum down 1.9%, XRP and XLM showing some green action. XRP, though, out of all the cryptos that we cover on this channel, is up the most right now. Right now, XRP up 2.86%. You can see it. We've got another green candlestick right here forming. I love it, man. Love it, love it, love it. We got a few more people. Diego's Rodriguez chiming in. Amsterdam, yes, sir. Toby Burton says, great work. Thanks for the live stream. Keep it upcoming. This is from the UK. AKA Payne says, you're a genuine guy, bro. Have you heard of Kendra Hill or whatever conspiracy? I don't know what I can talk about on this channel because I don't want to get demonetized. But we're going to wrap it up right now. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I'm going to have the music playing out to say your thanks. Make sure you guys say goodbye to all your friends on the chat as well. In real quick, to cover the XRP rumor news that we've all been talking about here. So on the 14th for XRP, we are going to have two new companies file for amicus. That's now going to be happening on the 14th. I will be sure to share those information with you once they happen. There are also rumors that XRP is meeting with a major market maker. Are we talking CBDCs, everyone? XRP, guys, is definitely heating up. Oh, and that's right, everyone. We have Coinbase, who will be listing HBAR today at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I will make sure I do a standalone video regarding that because I think I had the news up here. Where did I have the news? Here we go. I had it up here. I will make sure that I do a quick short video regarding this. Again, thank you everyone for watching. A quick wrap up on CPI data has this. We came in at 8.2%, everyone. Not good. If we look at it over the last year, we could see that things are still way too high on inflation. Look for the Fed to continually increase rates, which will destroy the demand side of the equation, which means people like you and me, they're going to stomp out the economy. They're going to start jacking up unemployment by making the cost of doing business more expensive by raising rates. Look for more pain to come to the consumers. I will keep you all updated as we get more information to come. Highlights in this recent CPI data have come from this. Food costs through the roof. Food at home, such as cereal and bakery products, are up 16.2%. We also have dairy and other related products at 15.9%. Energy is also a big concern that we're dealing with right now, with natural gas up 33.1%, electricity up 15.5%. And remember, we have a lot of people that will be cranking up their electric bills this winter as they try to heat their homes. Other energy news to come in. Fuel oil was the big shock on this report, coming in at 58.1%. Gasoline, which is what we use as consumers on a daily basis, up 18.2%. Diego Rodriguez says, bye, y'all. Have a good one. Thank you, Diego, for chiming in and watching the live stream. Other actions that we need to pay attention to outside of this is vehicles. Yes, everyone, new vehicles are not dropping in price. We see they're up 9.5%. Also see tobacco and other products up 8.2%. Everyone thinking that the car bubble, used cars would pop, would be wrong, as used cars and trucks are up 7.2%. Holy crap. Let's take a look here at, let's go to some services. All right, so transportation services, 14.6, medical service, shelter, again, housing, everyone right now. Housing, 6.6% up. That is not good at all. So again, food hitting us big, gas hitting us big, a lot of consumer-related items getting pounded right now. CPI data wasn't as pretty as we would like. In summation, the market, right, if we look over the last 24 hours is red. But boy, the only one shining right now is XRP, as they have been the only ones with the green candlestick here as of late. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to shut my mic off, leave a little bit of music for you here, let you guys say your thanks, say your hellos on the stream. Guys, I am signing off. It has been a pleasure. I will catch you all later.